What is up, everyone? The Baltimore Orioles take the rubber match in Colorado, win the series 2-3 behind an absolutely dominant start from Zack Eflin, fresh off the 15-day IL. He said, screw a rehab start. Screw the little, okay, we're not going to let him go. All that stuff. He said, no. Not only am I pitching, but I'm shoving, baby. And what makes it today's win even sweeter. And the New York Yankees get walloped by the St. Louis Cardinals. Juan Soto, baby, generational player, generational hitter. I have never seen a player so incapable of playing the outfield. I love it, Juan. Never change. Please never practice defense because it looks like you've never done it a day in your life, and I'd like for that to continue. But the Baltimore Orioles are now just a half game out of first place in the AL East. They are 8.5 games up for that final, would be out of the final wild card spot. Man, talk about different vibes in just less than 24 hours. I mean, what? We're working on maybe 18 hours in between games. The Baltimore Orioles vibes are back. It felt like the whole team was starting to get on one, and it all starts with Zack Eflin. It all starts with Zack Eflin. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 9 punchies. Let me restate that. And 9 punchies. This Zack Eflin guy, I'm telling you, we talked about it before, and I'm going to bring it up again. Let me bring this up first. I just tweeted it out. In 5 starts, that's right, Zack Eflin has now made 5 starts with the Baltimore Orioles. He is 5-0, pitching in 32 1/3 innings, giving up just 7 earned run. I believe that's a 1.96 ERA. 34 punch-outs and a 0.96 walks and hits per innings pitched. When we were at the deadline, we said the Orioles need another starter. They need a guy that you can throw out there when the game's on the line, when the season feels like it's on the line, and go win you a damn baseball game. The bullpen is in shambles. After Dean gets hit yesterday, has to leave the game. Day before, the bullpen got overused. The bullpen was in shambles coming into the day. I joked about it last night. On last night's episode, once again, quick plug, Kevin and Zach Reacts. We go live after every single Orioles and Ravens game, win or lose. So if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. Kevin may be joining me in a little bit. Don't know. We might get Kevin on the streets. But back to the point of Zack Eflin shoving. I joked last night. I said, hey, congrats, Zach. Welcome back. We need you to casually go 7 innings of no-run ball tomorrow. I joked about that, and Zack Eflin said, hold my beer. I'll get it the fuck done. 7 innings, the 1 run came in the 7th. He was perfect through 5. Through 6 innings, the only hit, the only runner, or no, the only hit, because the only runner, the next guy walked. The only hit was a, hey, how you doing? Excuse me, little dribbler down the line, didn't even leave the infield. You want to talk about dominance today? I know someone put it up here at the very beginning, so I'm sorry if I missed it. But I think it was like 14. Oh, Joe Hood. Yeah, it was 18 whiffs. You want to talk about disgusting? You want to talk about nasty? Zack Eflin just put on a clinic of how you pitch a damn rubber match in a series that you have to win. He put on a clinic of, hey, the Rockies are struggling. This is a team you need to beat. We talk about it all the time with the Orioles starters. You need to go out there and win the games that you're supposed to win. The Orioles needed to win this game. If you lose 2 of 3 in Colorado, you feel disgusting heading into this White Sox series. Zack Eflin said, hold my beer. Hold my beer. I'll go get out of it. And just about outside. Yes, unfortunately, I'll play the songs on the way out as well. Don't you worry. But yes, we played not 1, but 2 songs already. And while I'm doing this, I got to, Laura, appreciate you. Rename the fish. Birch's fish is now Effin. Laura, I don't think I can. We are keeping the fish naming rights. Kevin is no longer allowed to name fish after pitchers after we saw the decline of Birch Smith. Pretty much just on par with since we called him that. So we'll see. Maybe Vibes pull it, make it happen. But right now, I think we got to be careful with Zack Eflin and fish naming rights. And then C-Money, just here for the vibes. Let's go. Appreciate you as always. And yes, Super Chats are now active. We finally won our little back and forth with YouTube where they were all like, oh, I don't know if you guys are monetizing. We're like, we got it. We got it. So, hey, just another incredible win. Appreciate everyone who is tuning in. Let's do this. Let's do Kevin's favorite game. In the comments, 1 through 10, 1 being vibes are horrendous. You hate everything. 10 being this is the greatest day ever. 1 through 10, where are your vibes for the 2024 Baltimore Orioles following today's win? I'm going to say mine are at a 9. I'm saying mine are at a 9 solely because, listen, I know that's a 9. You're like, whoa, why suddenly so high? The biggest thing that I wanted to see today was Zack Eflin look the part. I wanted to see Zack Eflin go out there and look like he did before he got hurt. Because if Zack Eflin looks like he did before he got hurt, I know people aren't happy with Burns right now, but you have Corbin, you have Eflin 1-2. We'll see what happens. Obviously, Suarez can be your 3. Grayson potentially could be your 3. I feel a lot better if Zack Eflin is coming in right now and he just didn't miss a beat. Simple as that. Did not miss a beat. Picked up right where he left off. I believe he's gone 6 innings at minimum in all 5 starts, which is exactly what you want to see from a kind of a bulldog of his caliber. He's a guy that you just kind of hand the ball to and say, go. We'll go out there and we'll make something happen. You just do your job, and he gets it done every single time. I'm putting it at a 9 because I love where this team stands. It was a brutal home stretch, or not even really a road trip. Past 10 games, you had the first 7 against Houston and LA. Then you go to Colorado where anything can just be a home run. It is one of the toughest. I don't want to call it a tough environment to play in. It's just such a weird place to play. You get the weird like bloopers in. You get obviously fly balls, just find the way out. But man, you had Zack Eflin come in. You see Zack Eflin come in. He dominates. He does exactly what you feel like he should be doing to the Colorado Rockies. And if Zack Eflin's pitching like this, you can just pencil him in. I'd almost pencil him in as number 1 going into the playoffs. If he keeps pitching like this and Burns continues to struggle, it's hard not to be excited about what Zack Eflin can do for this team down the stretch and into the playoffs. The team needed this win bad today because with everything in consideration, if Zack Eflin goes 4 innings, Zack Eflin goes 5 innings, you're sitting here and the bullpen probably gets overused again. Now your bullpen is in even worse shape than it was sitting here what it could have been. We just talked about yesterday, you used so many guys. The day before, you used so many guys. This was the win that the Orioles needed. And not only just a win, they needed a win in which Eflin went deep. They couldn't just have a win where they blew up the bullpen again, all hands on deck, they scrape away with it. They needed a game like today where you only need to use two guys out of the bullpen, one being Bowman. Bowman comes in, he didn't pitch yesterday. I was really intrigued to see kind of where his leash was. Where his, in the sense of, he pitched a career, I believe it was a career high. He pitched over 40 pitches on Friday, I believe. It felt like one of those times where I wasn't sure if he should be brought in. But he gets an extremely quick inning, too, only throws 13 pitches. Love to see that from him. And then Gregory Soto. Don't look now, but Gregory Soto, 9 straight scoreless innings. 9 straight scoreless innings from Gregory Soto. That's another guy. Steve. Is Soto back? I'm seeing Sema. He said, don't let Soto get locked in. This bullpen's a whole lot better if guys like Gregory Soto step up. I mean, you can call it what it was. The first 3 outings of Gregory Soto in a Baltimore Orioles uniform were rough. I shouldn't even call it rough. They were atrocious. 8 earned runs in 3 appearances. The exact opposite. I mean, we came on here after the 3rd one, and it was like, what did this team just do? You just felt like, where did we see something in Soto? It was at the point where, people were coming in here already and we're like, just DFA him. Just DFA him. I'm going to stick with what I said last night, though. Am I ready to suddenly say Gregory Soto in a big situation? Gregory Soto in a close game in the 8th or 9th? No. I'm not there with the trust yet. But you get a game like tonight, 4-5 run difference. You get a game where maybe you're down 3, down 2. Even hell, if you're up 2, up 3 in the 6th inning. I'm feeling a lot better about Gregory Soto in these situations. And Kieran, Jacob Webb also began his rehab assignment today. So the Orioles bullpen, they're starting to be life. We're starting to get a little life. We'll see what happens with Dean Kramer. Obviously, that injury is still up in the air. We don't know really how much. We don't have much of an really update at all on Dean. We know it's a contusion. There's no fracture. He had some sort of wrap on it today, but we couldn't see anything with that. So hopefully in the next day or two, we know something more about Dean. If not, I could see, obviously, you have to make some sort of move to that. So, and Steve's talking about Webb and Coulomb coming back this month is going to help this bullpen big time. Yeah, so we're still waiting on, I guess, more updates from Danny Coulomb. I would love to see Danny back on the Major League squad within the next 2 weeks. That's another guy I would hope to get back. The thing with Coulomb is it's not that I don't, obviously it's not like, oh, you don't want him back. I would just feel a lot better if you got to see maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5 appearances from Coulomb before we hit like playoffs, because right now, if he gets back here September 14th, September 15th, then we're good. Then he gets, he can get 5-6 appearances. You kind of get him back in the flow of things. I would just hate if he's coming back September 30th and his second appearance after not pitching in the majors for, it would be like 3 months at that point. I would just hate that to be in the playoffs in a big situation, because as much trust as I have in Danny Coulomb, it's hard. Like this, what obviously different scenario. His was only a 15-day IL stretch. So it's very different than 3 months off and also having surgery. But it's not normal for guys to just come off the IL and do what Zack Eflin did today. I saw someone up here. Lab, what about Heston? So I don't believe we've even gotten really an update about Heston, other than I want to say a week ago at this point. Maybe earlier this week, maybe like on Monday or something, Monday, Tuesday this past week. He's resuming like some sort of baseball activity. So probably playing catch, starting to hit a little bit. But I don't unfortunately see Heston being a part of this team this year, just because I'm seeing resume baseball activities. So this is really just this is such a tough situation, because concussions are weird. Concussions are so weird. You can go out there, and we saw him. He got cleared a week, 10 days later, to come resume baseball activities. He got back in the lineup, didn't look good. Something looked off. Then suddenly they stopped playing him for a little bit. And then about 2 weeks, a week after he got off the concussion IL, they were like, hey, we got to send him back down. Then he didn't get any playing time the first like 4 or 5 days down there. They put him back on the IL. It's been a really sad situation for Heston Kjerstad, because talk about a guy with all the talent in the world. We want to talk about some of these top prospects, obviously the Kobe Mayos, the Sam Basayos. Heston Kjerstad for a long time was considered, especially the past few years, kind of like the most pure hitter in the system. It really felt like Heston Kjerstad was really, especially right before he got hurt, it looked like he was finally putting it together. He's getting consistent playing time, which is all we asked for. Me and Kevin talk about all the time consistency. We just want consistency from this team. And it's not just talking about playing or how they play. We want to see these guys get consistent at bats. We want to see these guys go out there. We want to see Heston Kjerstad every day, because it's hard for these young guys to adjust to major league pitching. It's hard for these young guys to adjust to really just this level when you're only playing every few days. You're getting a pinch hit appearance here. You're getting a pinch hit appearance there. Oh, you're starting, but you only get 2 at bats, and then they pinch hit you for matchups. It's just really, it's a brutal one to try to, it's a brutal game to play for these young guys. So I unfortunately don't think Heston is going to be helping this team this year. I think the main focus for him is making sure that he is no longer experiencing any of the concussion symptoms. It's pretty much as easy as that. It's not going to be something of, oh, he can't play. Oh, as soon as he's cleared, let him go on a quick rehab and get him back up here. Concussions are so weird. We talked to Dr. Yoni Rosenblatt on the Ryan Ripken show, and we asked him about Heston's concussions, and this was about a month ago at this point. We asked him about Heston's concussions, and he said that concussions are so weird because some people after 5 days, 5-6 days are like, I'm good. I'm just perfectly fine, back to normal. Nothing really bad happened. No setbacks. He said then other people, they get cleared to play exactly like Heston did. And then he said he's even seen people experiencing symptoms up to a year after things happen. So obviously you hope that's not the case with Heston. You hope he's able to come back. I would just like to see him, even if it's not in the pros, I would like to see him kind of get his feet back under him in AAA, just kind of get something. You don't want that sour taste in your mouth going into the offseason of your season was ended by a concussion, especially not one that happened early July. You're not thinking that's taking you out for the rest of the year. So that's just such a horrible, horrible situation that Kobe's had to do or deal with. So at the end of the day, you just have to hope what's best for him. I know obviously the Orioles would love to have a healthy Heston Kjerstad to be able to put in the lineup, especially against righties. You know, we know the power's there. We know the hit ability is there, the bat to ball. It's all solely about health right now. And the biggest thing for Heston is making sure that he is 100%, because especially with concussions, even if you are just a tenth of a second late on something, it takes you just that much longer to read something, to react. You know, football, basketball, other sports, that might not be that big of a difference. But with baseball, when the ball gets to you in the blink of an eye, if you're that much slower, that's the difference. That's how we saw hanging breaking balls getting just swung through by Heston when he tried to return right after the concussion. We saw pitches that usually Heston is putting into orbit, and he's just missing. You know, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, he was nowhere close. He was just flat out missing them. So the biggest thing is, no. And 232 saying, I had a concussion. It took about 18 months to feel like I had recovered from it. It's really variable as to how long it takes. Yeah, it really does. It really does. And Steven saying concussions mess with balance. Baseball's all about balance and timing. Yeah, so concussions are one of those injuries, especially in baseball, that can just take so long to get over. And Steve even talked about this. Surprised McCann didn't get a concussion. Yeah, we talk about how weird concussions are. Heston gets hit in the helmet. McCann takes one to the face. Two completely different recovery times, all of that. So really just a brutal stretch for Heston. But let's get back into this game and more. Let's talk about it offensively. We talked about Zack Eflin for enough. Talked about the bullpen, or really the lack thereof need to use the bullpen today. Gregory Soto gets the job done. Matt Bowman gets the job done. Now let's move over to the offense. Starting out at number 1, 0 for 4, Austin Slater. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I think I broke Austin Slater. Austin Slater's like 0 for his last 17, I think, and it matches up incredibly well to when I bet on him for the first time. I'm going to put the hand up on this one. This might be me. That one might be me. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Austin Slater, 0 for 4. We got Kevin Ostreicher's asking me for a link. So let me see if old Kevin is, what he's up to. We might get a little Kevin on the street. Kevin Street Striker. Yeah, no, I know, guys. Guys, I know. This is on me. My Slahating, it's not doing well. So, also, what rookie did I just hype up? I was hyping up Heston, and he already there's nothing much to hype up or get hurt with Heston. I don't know what rookie I was just hyping up. I don't know about this. I would still like to see. I think eventually next year, Holiday's the leadoff hitter, but right now, I just can't. I don't think Holiday's the guy to put in the leadoff spot. Strikes out too much for my liking at the leadoff spot. But let's go down the rest of the lineup. Anthony Santander, 2 for 5. He gets 2 singles, one being an infield single. You just like to see Tony continuously getting on base, because Tony's one of those guys, we talk about streaky hitters. You know, he's either as cold as possible or as hot as possible. If Tony's not hitting home runs, but he's still finding ways to get singles, hell, infield singles, you take that. Then right behind him in the 3 spot, we have Gunnar Henderson, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Listen, is this going to say, I know, Kieran, we're talking, is Gunnar back? It's a good sign. It is a very good sign. That's all I'm going to say about Gunnar Henderson, because it just takes one. You know, maybe it takes 2 in this case for Gunnar Henderson, but especially with the White Sox coming to town, especially with guys you feel like the Orioles need to win at least 2, if not take all 3. I think this is a good time for Gunnar to be starting to heat up. You hope that with the White Sox coming in, it gives him another opportunity to hopefully string together 1 or 2 more multi-hit games. You just hope. You hope that it doesn't necessarily have to be going out there and Gunnar hits 3 for 4 each day with, each game he's got at least a homer and a double. He's using the whole field. You want to see good, hard contact from Gunnar Henderson, and that's what we started to see today. And the biggest thing, what I love, is the single in the first and then the RBI single in what inning was that? Was that the 8th, I believe? Was that the 8th or was that the 9th? Why is it not letting me see? It was the 9th. Or 7th was the RBI single. Both times, not a big swing. Both times he was not over swing. It was a condensed swing, barrel to ball. He's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to hit it 480, pull the ball. He's trying to just get the barrel to the ball. And if you're Gunnar Henderson, that's when he's most dangerous. When Gunnar's trying to hit home runs, that's where we go into these big, you see these streaks of he's striking out almost every at bat. He just doesn't feel confident. When Gunnar is just trying to get the bat to the ball, he's trying to find the barrel. He's got a short, concise swing like we started to see again today. That's when Gunnar Henderson is truly the most valuable to this team and at his best. So, Gunnar with 106 mile an hour exit velocity out today happens at least once a game when he's slumping. It really is. I feel like we talk about once a game, like you said, where it's like, yeah, even when Gunnar's like 0 for 3, 0 for 4, you're like, yeah, but then he had 110 mile an hour line drive that just got caught by the second baseman. Like, that just seems to be the MO for Gunnar right now over the past few weeks, is even when he's hitting the ball well, it's just getting caught. Let's move on to next. We had 0 for 3 from Eloy Jimenez. He ended up walking twice. He also waved himself in on the Kobe Mayo single that turned into a triple and an RBI. You know the play I'm talking about. But yeah, Eloy Jimenez, talk about just a vibes guy. Like, we talk about vibes a lot this show. And if there was ever a guy that just encapsulated every part of being a vibes guy, it's Eloy Jimenez. And this team is better off for it. But I believe this is a debut. I think we are about to witness the first ever Kevin Street Striker on the streets. Kevin, how are we feeling?
I heard you say streak, and I'm just like, that's not what we're doing today. I'm not doing that. I don't know. My internet's not great. But we are. Let me see. How do I turn the camera? We're here. We're the fair. You see the wave? There he is. So,
love it.
Look at that.
That's electric. Are you at the Maryland State Fair?
Yeah.
Oh, that's electric. I forgot the Maryland State Fair was happening.
How could you forget?
I'm sorry, Kevin. That's on me.
That is on you. But Zack Eflin is the Orioles hero. He just is. I have no other words. The hero that everybody needed in Baltimore. So.
Yeah. Kevin, I got a little hate for this, but we did 1 through 9. What are your vibes for the Orioles right now? I said I'm back up to 9 because it felt like the worst thing that could have happened to this team was Zack Eflin lost the touch that he had before he got injured. He comes back out, looks dominant as always. You get the word that Jacob Webb is starting his rehab assignment. Gregory Soto, 9 straight scoreless outings. It's hard for me, Kevin. I'm sticking with it. It's going to be a 9 right now. Is it in the moment? Is it closer to probably a 7.5? But the whole point of this is to react. And sometimes it's Kevin and Zach overreact. That's what we do here. But the way I'm feeling is anytime Zack Eflin's on the mound, the Orioles are taking the game.
Yeah, I'm probably not going as high as you, but I'll let you stand alone on your stool right there. But I'll probably go. I'll go 7. I'll go right in that range of where you were.
I mean, we're going more realistic. It's 7.5, 8. But no, I'm going overreaction time. Overreaction Labor Day. It's 9.
There's always some room for some good overreactions. I think that, this show wouldn't be the same without them.
No, but why we're here.
If you're feeling good after today, I don't blame you. I feel good after today. So now look, you won the series. We said last night that if they lost this series to Colorado, we'd be having a whole different conversation. You couldn't have had that happen. But yeah, I'm glad they're able to get the job done. And I'm glad Eflin didn't miss a beat. He comes back after a little stint. I don't know if anybody else felt this way, but there's a little concern for me of like, was he going to be the same guy? I know it wasn't a huge deal or anything, but like when you miss that much time, sometimes it can take a little start or two to get back into it. But man, they needed that, especially after all of the moves that we saw, as we predicted last night. Zack Craig Kimball, not one of those moves, which was not shocking to either of us. But man, Kobe Mayo. I mean, there are so many different storylines for this game. And again, if you're feeling good, I don't blame you. I feel good. I know you feel good. You really do feel good. So that's kind of the vibes right now.
Yeah, and with the biggest thing, I think you hit it on the head, Kevin. It's what I'm trying to, been saying about why I feel so good about this is because, remember, Zack Eflin was kind of viewed as like this almost savior of the rotation when he got here. He goes 4-0 to start his Orioles career. He's won every single game, obviously. And you felt like, okay, this is the pitcher that's going to take us to that next level. He's the automatic number 2 in a playoff spot, maybe even number 1 now. And then he goes down, and you're sitting there and you're like, this team can't catch a break. Then on the same day he comes back, people are going to say, oh, it's against of Rockies team that's underperforming. They're not having a good year. If you go 7 innings of 1-run ball, I don't care, in Colorado at Coors Field, under that just shit show of a state, like anything can happen in that place. You'll see a bloop single, triple, and then a 500-foot home run in the same inning. It's a weird place to play. If you can go out there 7 innings, 1 earned run, that's good for any. I don't care who you're pitching against.
And that's what we were talking about early in the season. It's like these Orioles starters are going 5, 6 innings. If you can put that number to 6, 7 and kind of ease the tax on your bullpen, because they needed that. They needed to ease the tax on their bullpen after a couple of outings where they had to use, 7 pitchers, and guys are going multiple innings. So to have Suarez do it, to have Eflin do it, I mean, that's exactly what you want to see, especially now the games get bigger and the moments get brighter and you need your starters to go out there and step up. I mean, it is kind of crazy. We're kind of like in the reverse of what it was early in the season, where it's like now if Corbin Burns can just get it back and the rest of the staff can continue doing what they're doing, as we've said, the Orioles are going to have a decent outing here from most of their guys every time you go out. If Corbin just get back to it because you have Eflin, hopefully Grayson can get back at some point. Obviously, Dean got hit, and we talked about that last night in that whole situation, but it's just guys stepping up like Suarez, and you need them because of how many injuries this team seems to go through on now. I call it a daily basis. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and I said with, consistency, I said not only for us is it about guys how they play, it's about when they play. You want these guys to have some sort of consistency, whether it's out of the bullpen, it's guys knowing, hey, I'm going to be the 7th guy. I'm going to be the 8th inning guy. I'm going to be the 9th inning guy. Whether it's players like Kobe Mayo knowing I'm going to be in the lineup every day. You want these guys to have consistent opportunities because baseball players are creatures of habit. We saw the cleat cleaner wasn't out for Corbin Burns, and it derailed everything. Like, these guys are creatures of habit. If you can get it so the bullpen knows, okay, Zack Eflin's going to do this. We just got to find, 7, 8, 9. Corbin Burns pitching well. Okay, he's going to do this. We just got to find these 3 innings to get outs. It's when all of a sudden we have this inconsistency of, hey, this pitcher goes 4. Nope, now this pitcher goes 6. Then the next 3 games, pitchers can't get out of the 5th. And your bullpen is sitting there going, okay, yesterday I pitched in the 4th in high leverage. Now I'm pitching in the 8th inning. Then the next day I'm pitching in the 5th inning. And you can't mentally build up for that. So it really is. You want consistency everywhere. And Kevin, before we get into this, I just saw this comment by Steven, and I couldn't agree more. Small ball was back.
Finally.
We saw him working counts. Gunnar, Seti, and Jackson all taken off for steals. Like the Orioles were stealing bases. They went 4 for 12 runners in scoring position. I'll take a 333 any day of the week in the average department for that. It seemed like they were getting guys over and they were getting guys in. And that's all you can ask for from this team.
And I saw your tweet about the lineup earlier where it's like there are so many complaints about the lineup. So obviously, they're going to go out there and do their thing because that's what always happens. It's like, oh, they're punting the day's a punt lineup. It's a punt lineup. And they go out there and they have their best day. So that to me is just like, you know what? Hey, put a punt lineup out there every day because the Orioles will be undefeated if they have it. But you're right. Getting up, or I guess getting back to the basics. Getting back to the basics is what we've been talking about the whole season, right? Where go on there and steal some bases. Go and move a guy over. And they did that today, and that to me is hopefully not just a one-off. Hopefully it's actually a trend that continues. Because I think using that in the postseason when you can catch teams off guard potentially, and it's something that every team should have in their arsenal when one way or the other. The Orioles haven't really had it for a lot of the year. They haven't really done a lot, but hey, if they can get it going this last month in the playoffs, that could be good.
Yeah, and that's all it's about is just finding ways to scratch and claw for wins. You need this in the postseason. We've talked about it. Jerry Hairston Jr.'s talked to us about it. We keep using the phrase it's a street fight in the playoffs because it is. That's what Jerry talks about. He says it's who can find a way to win if it's a 7-game series. Who can find a way to win 4. It's not about winning 4 straight. It's not about dominating and winning 4. It's about at the end of 4 of those games, you just got to have more runs. It doesn't matter if they're grand slams. It doesn't matter if it's 7 solo shots. It doesn't matter if you stole home every single time. Find a way to get them in, and you can win ball games. So you want the Orioles to see it. The Orioles team's the best. This Oriole team, it's no secret. When they're stealing bases, putting pressure on guys. That's what we saw earlier this year. When they're at their best, they're out there putting pressure on the other team.
Yeah. And, I mean, look, they did what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to win the series against Colorado at least.
Yeah. So.
Hold on. We're investigating.
Oh, is that a moving?
Thank you, guys. I saw you singing along. I like it. Are you 90s kids? We got some 90s kids up in here? 90s adults? All right. You don't have to grow up just because you grew up in the 90s. Oh my gosh, sure.
This is a moving piano guy. The piano is moving.
This, Kevin. Oh, dog, I love it.
Make some noise for Jace. He just requested a song, everybody.
All right, let's see what the song is.
Jace wants to hear something by Elsa. Everybody.
See if he knows Yankees lose. There was a guy with a massive stuffed animal that you missed.
Was he walking?
Yeah, there was. It was the most out of just. Yeah,
they have a bunch here. I tried to go to a quiet place, but then the piano came.
It's beautiful, Kevin. It's exactly what we needed. So
vibes now. See, now the vibes are a 9.
Now the vibes are a 9. How could they be any lower? How could they be any lower? Well, Kevin.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. We are. I think we're back. I wasn't gonna say they. This guy is belting. This guy is committed. This is like his Super Bowl.
Okay, I'm back in seclusion.
Absolutely love it. Kevin, I was going to say, as your own, but it's good we ended this way. I have a fantasy draft as I texted you about, so I'm going to have to hop off. So I think
right.
this is probably a little shorter version of Kevin and Zach reaction. Yeah, 45 minutes. We still got the job.
Not bad.
Not bad. The Baltimore Orioles win again in Colorado. Yankees lose. So the Orioles are back within a half game of the Yankees for the first place in the AL East. Tomorrow we are back at a day game against the Chicago White Sox. Against the Chicago White Sox, massive 3 games for the Orioles. But we'll be back after game 1 tomorrow. Let me get the official time for game 1. Tomorrow's a 3:05 start, so similar time. We'll probably be back here like 5:45-ish again.
Yep.
Appreciate everyone who tuned in. I think we got to all the super chats. Appreciate everyone to tune in, and that will do it for another edition of Kevin and Zach React. Have a day, guys. Go have yourself a Labor Day weekend. Everyone, we should be off tomorrow, so go enjoy it. Happy holidays, everyone. And as always, choo-wee-wees.